Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are tearing apart a stack of research focused on a simple yet utterly profound idea.
Yeah, the idea that we are not the rational actors we think we are?
Not at all. We're diving deep into these hidden, subtle forces that shape virtually every decision we make, from, buying coffee to choosing a career.
And it's not just that we're occasionally irrational.
No, the research is clear. We are predictably irrational. We make the same systematic mistakes again and again.
And this whole field, behavioral economics, it really provides the blueprint for those flaws. What's so fascinating is where the research comes from.
Right, the author's personal story.
Exactly. Dan Ariely, he spent years recovering from severe burns he suffered in an accident at 18. He was stuck in a hospital and forced to endure these routines that were really designed for the doctor's efficiency, not for his well-being.
So he felt like an outsider.
Completely. And that experience gave him this profound distance. It led him to just observe, to ask why people do what they do, and to realize that these external systems often dictate our internal motivations.
And that distinction is just crucial for this deep dive, isn't it? On one side, you have conventional economics.
Right, the idea of Homo economicus.
This perfectly rational human who always maximizes utility. The assumption is that the market will just correct any silly mistake we make.
But on the other side, you have behavioral economics. And here, we just accept that we're systematically irrational.
It's a given.
It's a given. So the goal isn't to lecture people into being rational, which is impossible. It's about understanding where we go wrong so we can design better systems for ourselves.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with probably the most fundamental trap.
Yeah.
Comparison, or what the research calls relativity.
We just can't evaluate things in a vacuum. It's impossible. We compare everything, houses, jobs, even our own self-worth.
And the irrational part is that we tend to focus on things that are easy to compare.
Right, and we often ignore options that might actually be better for us, but are just, harder to evaluate side by side.
This is where the decoy effect comes in. It is one of the most ruthless marketing tricks because it exploits this exact need.
It really is.
You looked at that famous economist subscription experiment. 100 MIT Sloan MBAs. What happened there?
Okay, so they had three choices. Number one, internet only for $59.
Okay.
Number two, print only for $125. And number three, a print and internet combo, also for $125.
So the results were pretty dramatic.
Oh yeah. 84 of them chose the combo, 16 chose the internet only, and a grand total of 0 chose the print only option.
0. Nobody wanted the decoy.
Yeah.
But its presence changed everything.
That's the key. The decoy was intentionally designed to be inferior to the combo. Same price, less stuff.
A no-brainer.
Exactly. But it provided this quick, clear win for the combo choice. It made the combo look like an obvious bargain, and that pulled the majority of students away from the much harder question.
Which is, do I want the combo for $125 or just the internet for $59?
Right. The decoy just simplifies that comparison, and we almost always choose the simple path.
That Rome versus Paris example is the one that really hits home.
Yeah.
They're hard to compare, right? One has food, the other has history.
Totally different.
But then a travel agent introduces a third option. Rome without the free breakfast.
The bad version of Rome.
And that inferior Rome instantly makes regular Rome seem superior, not just to the decoy, but often to Paris too.
It's so powerful, and it crosses over into social dynamics. There's another experiment, a dating one.
Ah, yes, the -U decoy.
A -U decoy. The research showed that if you're single, you should bring a friend who shares your basic features, but is just subtly less attractive.
Your kid.
Not at all. It makes you the easy, superior choice. In that experiment, when the decoy friend was present, the more attractive option was chosen 75% of the time. It's all about maximizing the visible advantage.
So if comparison drives our choices, the next question has to be, how do we set the value of things in the first place? This brings us to anchoring.
The idea that some initial, often random number sets a lasting pattern. It's like imprinting in Goslings.
It's a profound demonstration of how fast we form these preferences.
And how arbitrarily, look at that MIT experiment with Social Security numbers.
This one is just wild. They had students use the last 2 digits of their Social Security number as a price for items, like a keyboard, and then bid.
A completely random, meaningless number.
It should have absolutely no bearing on the price of a keyboard.
And yet it did. The students whose numbers were in the highest 20%. the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
They bid between 216 and 346% higher than the students in the bottom 20%.
That is staggering.
The anchor was arbitrary, but the bids were coherently aligned with it. Once that number was in their head, their willingness to pay just snapped right into line.
So we don't really calculate what something's worth. We just figure out if the price is higher or lower than the first number we saw.
That's basically it. Businesses use this to invent value out of thin air, like the case of Tahitian black pearls.
A product nobody even knew about.
Nobody knew or cared. So this guy, Salvador Assail, he positions them among diamonds and rubies with an outrageously high price tag.
He created the anchor.
He created the anchor, and instantly they were established as fabulously fine gemstones before the market had any time to rationally figure out what they were actually worth.
And once that anchor is set, we just reinforce it through what the research calls self-herding.
Right. Self-herding is just cognitive consistency. We look at what we did in the past and assume it must have been the right choice.
Otherwise, why would I have done it?
Exactly. It just reduces the mental effort of reevaluating. So that first time you bought a $4 gourmet coffee, that was a high anchor purchase. Every coffee after that is just you repeating a correct decision, which makes it incredibly hard to switch to the free but, inferior office coffee.
Let's shift from arbitrary value to zero value. Why does the word free have such an irrational psychological power over us?
The zero price effect. It's this amazing demonstration of how we just miscalculate value when the cost hits zero.
You looked at the chocolate experiment. The Lindt truffle versus a Hershey's Kiss.
We did. So initially the truffle was 15 cents, the Kiss was 1 cent. Most people, about 73%, chose the higher quality truffle.
Which makes sense. Standard economics would say that relative preference should hold steady, right?
It should. But when we dropped both prices by 1 penny, so the truffle was 14 cents and the Kiss was 0 cents, free.
Everything changed.
Demand shifted overwhelmingly to the Kisses. The reason zero is so powerful is that it eliminates the fear of loss.
So there's no perceived downside.
There is no downside. And because we are so loss averse as humans, that feeling of safety just overrides the rational calculation of quality.
And this leads right into the two worlds we live in, social norms and market norms. And when they collide,
the social relationship just dissolves. Often you can't get it back.
It's the difference between asking your neighbor for help with a couch,
which is a social norm. They do it because, well, they like you,
versus offering them $20 to do it.
Now it's a market norm, and suddenly they're thinking, what's my hourly wage? I mean, the ultimate analogy is offering your mother-in-law $400 for Thanksgiving dinner.
You just wouldn't. The social context is instantly destroyed.
The study with the lawyers is just incredible on this point. They were asked to provide low-cost legal services to retirees for $30 an hour.
And they refused.
Refused. $30 was insulting under market norms. It suggested their time wasn't worth much.
But then the request was reframed.
Yes. They were asked to volunteer their services for $0, and they overwhelmingly said yes. The whole mental frame shifted from market worth to social responsibility. Once you introduce money, even a tiny bit, the social norm just gets pushed right out.
It's so precise that just pricing a social gift can ruin it.
Absolutely. We saw this in another experiment. One group of participants got a Snickers bar, a pure social gift. They worked hard.
And the other group?
They got a 50-cent Snickers bar, same gift, but with a price tag. And they worked significantly less. Their effort matched the group that was just paid 50 cents in cash.
The price turned a gift into a low wage.
Exactly. This is why communities like Burning Man, which are built on a gift economy, explicitly forbid market norms. They know money contaminates that cooperative spirit.
Okay, let's talk about the conflict inside all of us, the split self, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of our minds.
Yeah, this idea that we fundamentally misunderstand how a hot state, passion, hunger, anger will change us from our cold, rational state.
This might be the most frightening finding because it really dictates our long-term failures.
It is. We all believe our cold, rational self is in charge, but the Berkeley study on male students and sexual arousal just shattered that illusion.
So in their cold state, calm, doing homework, they predicted a high degree of morality, safe behavior.
Correct. But when they were tested in an aroused state, their predicted likelihood of engaging in immoral acts,
Like what?
like encouraging a date to drink or foregoing a condom, It jumped by 136%.
136%.
It's a massive disconnect. These are intelligent people who know the risks, but they are fundamentally unable to predict how passion will just change their identity, their ethics.
And this psychological gulf, this is the root of procrastination, isn't it?
Precisely. Saving money, working out, scheduling a checkup. Those are all cold goals, irrational, long-term, low emotion.
But then the hot impulse hits.
The urge to buy, to eat cake, to avoid effort. We consistently fail to predict the strength of that impulse. We choose that immediate, hot gratification almost every time.
So what's the solution? How do we bind the hot self when the cold self is in charge?
We have to use what are called pre-commitment mechanisms. These are basically systems we impose on ourselves to lock in rational behavior.
Okay, give me an example.
For healthcare, a doctor could charge you a $100 deposit for a crucial screening. It's fully refundable, but only if you show up on time.
So you're using our own aversion to loss against us.
You're turning it into a tool for self-control. For finance, you could imagine a self-control credit card.
How would that work?
You, in your cold state, set the rules in advance. Limit my coffee spending to $20 a week. If you try to go over, the card doesn't just decline.
It does something worse.
It enacts a penalty you chose yourself. It automatically transfers the extra money into a savings account you can't easily access. It makes the hot decision painful.
Okay, let's explore another one. The endowment effect. The high price of ownership. We fall in love with what we have.
And we focus intensely on what we'll lose, not what we might gain. The Duke basketball ticket study is the perfect illustration.
Right, so students who won tickets in a lottery, they instantly became owners.
And they valued that experience so highly, they demanded an average selling price of $2,400.
$2,400. But the students who lost the lottery, the buyers,
they were only willing to pay around $175.
That's a 14-fold difference, created by nothing more than random chance.
Exactly. The owner is focused on the pain of giving up the ticket. The buyer is focused on the pain of giving up cash. They're just talking past each other.
And it's not just our valuation that's affected. Our actual experience changes based on expectations.
Right. We can pre-program ourselves to enjoy or hate something. The MIT brew experiment with balsamic vinegar in beer.
So if you told them about the vinegar before they tasted it,
they wrinkled their noses and hated it. But if you told them after they tasted it, they liked the beer just as much as the people who never knew.
So our knowledge, delivered beforehand, literally changed the physiology of their taste.
It did, which leads right into the ultimate expectation. Price is a placebo.
The fake painkiller experiment.
Veladone RX. It was just a vitamin C pill. When we priced it at $2.50 a pill, almost everyone reported effective pain relief.
But when you discounted it to 10 cents,
only half reported relief. Our expectation of quality, driven entirely by price, dictates the perceived efficacy. If it costs more, we expect it to work better, and our mind delivers.
So what does this all mean? Let's bring it together with one last critical area: honesty. We all think of ourselves as moral people who maybe just cheat a little bit. But the medium of exchange, that seems to radically change our definition of a little bit.
This is a profound vulnerability. We ran an experiment comparing cheating for money versus cheating for tokens.
Yeah.
A non-monetary currency you could immediately exchange for cash.
Okay, and when they were cheating for actual money?
They cheated by an average of about 2.7 questions.
But when they were cheating for tokens?
The cheating more than doubled to 5.9 questions.
Doubled.
It's because the distance from cash lets our internal honesty monitor stay, well, asleep. It's psychologically easier to rationalize taking a token or a stock option than it is to physically steal $50 in cash.
So the further removed we are from cold, hard cash, the easier it is to tell ourselves we're still good people, even while we're inflating an expense report or pocketing company airline miles.
It's still theft, but because it's not physical cash, the moral barrier is just so much lower. And this has staggering implications as we become a fully cashless society.
So if we synthesize all of this, relativity, anchoring, the cost of zero, our split selves, and how abstract money makes us less honest, the conclusion seems pretty clear.
The evidence shows we are not these autonomous, rational beings sitting in the driver's seat. We are systematically influenced by forces we largely fail to comprehend.
So the solution isn't to try to be perfectly logical.
No, that's impossible. It's to be fiercely aware of these vulnerabilities, to understand where the trapdoors are.
And that awareness is power for you, the listener. You have to train yourself to question your own repeated behaviors, to inventory the anchors in your own life.
Why do you always choose that brand? Why do you pay that price?
By identifying those arbitrary starting points, you can actually gain the power to break the cycle.
Which leads to a final thought.
Given that this research proves the disappearance of cash will dramatically increase our propensity to cheat, how can society build new ethical guardrails or cognitive systems now to prevent a systematic slide toward dishonesty in a fully cashless future? That's a question that requires proactive design, and one worth pondering long after this deep dive is complete.